Another brutal day on Wall Street today. America is now entering a crisis. Hey guys, so as expected, we got the rate hike today. Many people thought that we would get a rate hike and that we would get a dovish message to go along with it. That didn't happen. In fact, quite the opposite happened. We got the rate hike and we got a very ominous message that we're going to get two more rate hikes in 2019. We will get a third rate hike in 2020. Also, the Fed is forecasting GDP to be 2.3% in 2019, and they have confirmed that they will continue trimming $50 billion a month off their balance sheets. So that's going to affect these markets immensely, because basically we have the reverse of quantitative easing, where we had all the billions and billions of dollars pouring in every month into these markets. Now we're going to have billions and billions of money coming out of these markets. So, we saw the effect of quantitative easing when we juiced these markets, injected it with all this artificial money, and these markets were on steroids for many years. Now we're doing quite the opposite. We're taking the medicine away. We're taking the patient off steroids, and it's having dire effects, as you can see. And so, you have to ask yourself, was this really a result of China and the trade war? Was it a result of tariffs? It had nothing to do with it. This is all a result of interest rates and debt, and now the result of no quantitative easing. In fact, the reverse of quantitative easing. They're pulling money off the balance sheets now. They're trimming it down. So we're seeing the opposite effect. But when you have $22 trillion in debt and you have interest rates going up, this is going to have negative effects on these markets, no doubt about it. Also, it's the $250 trillion in cheap money over the decade that boosted the equities market across the globe. And so now, without this cheap money, we're seeing the reality of these markets. And we've been really living in an illusion here. These markets have been artificial. They've been injected. They're just man-made markets. A total fake Ponzi scheme. We've been witnessing an illusion, and now reality is kicking in. Reality is now coming to fruition. Take a good look around. When you go out, take a good look around at the economy. Take a good, just read a little bit. Take a look at what's going on in the world. The U.S. economy is without a doubt slowing. The European economy is slowing. The Chinese economy is slowing. Here in America, drive by an auto dealership. There's nobody there. There's a sea of cars parked on acres and acres of land with nobody there buying. Auto sales are down. Real estate is falling off a cliff. Luxury goods are down. Industrial production is down. Retail sales are down. Retail stores are closing by the thousands. This is the cause and effect of, again, all this free money, all this helicopter money, all this quantitative easing, the bailout. The worst thing we ever did was bail out these financial institutions, these banks, auto companies. This is the worst thing we could have done. All we did was prolong the death of this patient on the hospital bed. We should have just, suffered the consequences in '08 when we only had about $10 trillion worth of debt. Now we've over doubled the debt. These banks should have been put out of business in '08. We should have allowed the free market and capitalism to do what it does, and allow institutions that made bad loans and bad investments to fail and go under, and allow other ones to come in and pick up the pieces. But instead, we put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound, prolonged this process, and now we're going to suffer the consequences 10 times worse than if we would have just dealt with this in 2008. I think that probably most people out there watching this video are preparing. They've been preparing for what we're starting to see happen right now. We're starting to see things unravel, and this is just the beginning. Imagine if we had a black swan event. Imagine if we had a terrorist attack. Imagine if we have some kind of issue with the US dollar. this is going to be another thing. We're going to continue to see the US dollar under attack. China, Russia, Japan, all getting rid of US dollars, treasury notes. The dollar at some point is going to come under very harsh attack. Countries around the world are looking to do anything to get rid of US dollars and not be subservient to the US dollar, as our world reserve currency has been so abused by this country. And so what happens when we no longer have that power with the world reserve currency, or if more and more countries continue to dump it with the financial problems that we're having right now? People think that these things can't happen, but they're already starting to happen. Other countries are looking to continue to dump dollars and look at other options. So everybody needs to be preparing for what is coming, what is starting to happen right now. The market could go up 5,000 points next week. It doesn't even matter. This thing is an illusion. It's not real. What's real is that we're losing jobs in America. Wages are not keeping up with the standard of living. People are living from paycheck to paycheck. We're being invaded every day by multiple countries around the world who come up our southern borders. We're having our gun rights threatened and taken away from us every day. We're losing our First Amendment of free speech, where you can be arrested, you can be sued, you can lose your job, or you can be demonetized like I am for making a video like this. So we're really under an assault here in America, and people need to wake up. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is real life. And if we don't face it head on, if we just want to hide from it and deny it's happening and just say it's a conspiracy theory, we are going to continue to lose our country to the globalists. We're going to be absolutely flooded by every country in the world that's going to come to America through our southern borders with more crime, more disease, more debt, more unskilled people, more uneducated people that you're going to be responsible to pay for. America, please wake up. This country is under assault right now. We have never seen a time in America that we're seeing right now. This is a very dangerous time in our history. As a country, we are broke. We have a very divided country right now, more divided than probably any time in our history. We have a president that the left is still trying to convict over Russian collusion. 2 years and still no evidence. Again, most of America is living paycheck to paycheck. 51% of America makes under $30,000 a year. We have politicians here now that are complete socialists, communists, Marxists, who would rather tear America down, bring it down, than to have this president succeed or for the American people to succeed. We are under attack right now by globalism, and we are manufacturing nothing now in America, barely anything other than debt. We're being invaded from multiple parts of the world through our southern borders. We produce nothing but debt. The middle class has been completely decimated and wiped out. This country is heading in a direction that is very dangerous. And if people don't wake up and do something about it, we will lose America. This is really a very scary time if you're living in America. A lot of people out there are gambling on the speculation with cryptocurrencies. I don't believe this is the time to be gambling. I don't believe this is the time to be speculating. I believe this is the time that you need to be purchasing hard assets like gold and silver. This is just not the time to be taking chances. I think you need to be holding something with a track record, with a pedigree like gold and silver. Been around 5,000 years. This is real money. You can take your fiat monopoly money right now and you can buy real money, real assets, and preserve your wealth. Gambling with speculation and cryptocurrencies, I think that's a very bad gamble right now in this environment where we're at, where we're heading, looking at a recession, possibly a depression. Nobody really knows how bad this can get, but with the amount of debt that we have, this could get extremely bad, much worse than '08. And it could be even worse than 1929. This is why you better start protecting yourself right now with real assets, not speculation. Next time you're out, take a good look around. I was out today, and what I noticed were many obese people, many dumbed down people, not a care in the world, probably a good number of them on government subsidy, living off the government dole, drinking their $5 Starbucks latte, getting even more calories in so they can be even more obese. What are these people going to do when this thing flies off the cliff, which it already has? What are these people going to do? Just ask yourself, if the government could not service EBT, WIC, welfare, and a number of these government subsidies, what do you think you would see in the streets of America? Now, a lot of people think that that can't happen, but we are living in a time now where anything is possible. A lot of people thought 2008 couldn't happen. A lot of people thought that, a couple airliners couldn't fly into sky rises in New York. A lot of people thought 1929 could never happen. They partied right to the end before it happened. So these people who think that these events can't happen, they're drinking a lot of Kool-Aid. The people who are awake are going to survive this, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very uncomfortable. But imagine the people who are asleep when this thing hits, how unprepared they are mentally, physically, and spiritually, how dumbed down they've been. These people have no idea what is coming to America. And so you do not want to be one of these people. Keep your mind open. Top off your preps. Keep preparing. Keep praying. These are just, I just cannot believe what we're seeing happening to the United States of America. It's a shame. It's scary. It just makes you wonder, what's this country going to look like in 10 years? Are we going to have a country, down the road? Are we going to give it to the globalist elite? Is this going to be a socialized country, which it pretty much is turning into right now? How far does it go before Americans stand up and say, we are no longer allowing our country to be abused like this? We're no longer allowing our country to be invaded. We're no longer going to pay for people from around the world to sit here and milk America to death. I don't know. Will people ever do that? Do we still have people in America willing to do that? We'll find out. Anyways, tomorrow we'll see what the markets do. Not a whole lot of good news. Maybe we get a slight bounce. Maybe we don't. Maybe we continue to take more losses. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's all an illusion. But this is the beginning. We are starting to see things unravel. This is now the canary in the coal mine taking its last breath. Get prepared. Pray for this president. Pray for this country. Make sure you look after your family. Top off your preps. Continue to acquire real wealth. And talk to you guys very soon. God bless.